There's a video with Jack Joseph Puig saying, listen, you might even have a piece of gear in your rack that doesn't even work anymore, but you like seeing it and it makes you feel good. Keep it in the rack. I loved that, because people try to say, like the brain is more important, the heart is more important, your ears are more important, your eyes are more important, your voice is more important, your talent is more important, this is more. It's like we need our whole self, I want you to use your whole self and have fun. That's all it is. It doesn't have to be, is it art? Is it not art? Is it? This is art. This is soup. That's a Lily Tomlin thing. It is what you say it is. Make it your own. Have fun with it. And that's part of why I got the tape deck again. It looks like the Tascam 38, but it's got the 16 tracks, and I missed it. I grew up with tape decks. It was fun. It's what I thought studios were, consoles and tape decks. And I like that they're different. I love the cleanliness of digital. I love Logic. And I like doing both. Just even a couple of months ago, I thought, well, how much am I going to do in the box and how much am I going to do on the mixer? That's why it's so much fun making this album with mixing them all on the mixer, because you don't know until you're in each song what each song's going to need. Sure, it's got the basic tracks of a band, perhaps, or it's got vocals and harmony vocals, or it's an instrumental, or it's, needing this particular overdub, whatever. And maybe you often do such and such in the box with a special plug-in for that thing. That's cool. But I'm running into limitations over here and over there. So, it amazed me when I went to Logic that you could just click the little circle and the track is all of a sudden stereo and not mono. It's like, oh, that's great. Takes up less space and da-da-da-da-da. And you can record left and right to one channel. Wow. But when you go to parse it back out on the mixer, it takes up two channels again. It's like, hey, it's like taking up real estate, And then if you go to parse it out with a mono output or a stereo output, it's going to affect how you pan things. It will work or it might not work, and then it has to be panned over here in a different way. So that's a little like, and then this inline design is different. The track mix 32 channels, you have all the effects, you have all the EQ, for every channel. This one I only have half. So it's like, well, which half? I put the bass up on the small fader. Do I want to keep the bass up there? Or do I want it on the long fader? There's all these little choices with every single song. I've been trying to come up with a template to say, this is how I'm always going to do it. But it doesn't always work out that way. In this latest song called Write My Song, I wanted to do the left, right, center thing and have a gentle stereo piano, but have some kind of depth with the drums in the back. And I had two vocals harmony on the left side for the verses and then two harmony vocals on the right side for the choruses. And they were sort of still spread out in the stereo field. I was like, no, I really want it over here, and then I want it over there. And then I realized some of the reverbs and things and delays I was using from Logic, I was sending out in stereo, so it was mixing everything up. I didn't have the clarity and the separation I was wanting. So yeah, it depends where you do stuff. And then even when I was adding some Tegler reverb here from the board over to the rooms, it was affecting that. I'm like, oh, you might want to put it on one side, or you might want to pan it to the middle, but you don't want to use both because it's stereoizing everything. And it is a wonderful sound when you're wanting things to blend. Some of my mixes have come off that way, and it's really nice. But then that clarity thing wasn't going to happen. So, yeah, I was changing it. Infinite choices, got to narrow them down. I'm kind of amazed that not many people are using the Audient 4816 or making videos about it on YouTube. I haven't seen one other person parse out 32 tracks. They use the small faders for tracking and they use the 16 returns for mixing. And sometimes I can do that and it's just fine. But like recently I could have used 32 channels, and for some reason my channel 16 small fader, input mic line, nothing. The whole channel of 16 isn't working. I didn't realize when I bought this used that it was as old as it was. I think it was like 12 years old. That's why it wasn't that expensive, I guess. But, you know, I wanted an analog console that I didn't have to repair constantly, like an old something from the 80s or 90s or whatever. And that's when I would always wish that I still had the Studio Master, because I was the original owner and I knew everything was great about it. There wasn't anything worn out. You know, I wasn't using it every single day. And, you know, people used to say, oh, it's the talkback button. That's what wears out first. Not in my studio, because I didn't have a separate control room from a separate studio. I'm always doing everything in the same space, kind of like Peter Gabriel's Real World, you know. But it was just out of necessity that I always had to do that. And I like sitting here with the friends and playing and together and doing what we do. And a lot of times for me, I just have to be able to reach everything because I am playing and singing and doing whatever at the same time. So, you know, it's been interesting what controllers work. I used to have a remote for Logic, and then all these things update and you can't get new drivers for things so that the computer doesn't see it anymore. All these lovely pieces of gear become obsolete. I don't like built-in obsolescence, and yet it is fun to grow and try some new stuff too. So, hey, who doesn't like a great NAMM show? Where you go, ooh, we could do it like that now? That's exciting. I want one. I want one of everything. I still have hundreds of cassettes with original songs on them and stuff, and demos, and in the works arrangements, and you know, in progress recordings or whatever and stuff. And some of the songs, because like I said, I'd written so many in those early days when I was moving so much, changing living spaces, the only version of those songs that exist are on little dinky cassette decks. And it's the just written version. And some of those performances were good. So that's what's so great about Logic now, is that if you do a really good performance and you think it's just a demo or a little place to hold your idea, it's still so good quality that you can turn it into a record later. That demo can turn into a record. I haven't been as precious. I've recorded little things on cassette, not cassette, but on my phone even, and put sounds into the recording, or I've put even recordings I've released, just recorded on the phone or a mini disc. I've done a few of those. It's such a gigantic playing field. We don't have to worry about being, you know, an EMI recording engineer and wishing we all had studied at the BBC or anywhere, wherever you can study, the best school or whatever. I would probably have loved to have been an MP&E major at Berklee, but they didn't have a major, or it was just starting to be a major as I was graduating back in the late 70s into the early 80s. Somehow I was just so in love with guitar, I wanted to be a performance major, and that's the funniest thing at all. It's like you don't need a degree so that you're able to play. You know, but I love what it did for my guitar playing. I don't know, it's like incredible right-hand technique, you know, and it's entered into the style of how I play, and I can play super clean, and I really like that. And so, yeah, I don't regret any of it. I just always loved recording and making records, so I just never stopped. I don't think we should stop doing anything we love to do, really.